The Peterson family had always seemed picture-perfect to the outside world. Their small-town neighbors often envied their tidy home, their well-mannered daughters, and the seemingly unbreakable bond between them. But in the sweltering summer of 2012, one secret would shatter their carefully crafted image forever. 13-year-old Lily Peterson had returned from summer camp quieter than usual. Her parents, Margaret and Daniel, assumed it was the typical teenage sulkiness. But when Margaret found her youngest daughter crying in the bathroom, clutching a pregnancy test, the world seemed to tilt. The test was positive. Lily, trembling, admitted through sobs that the father was Josh, the 23-year-old camp counselor everyone had adored for his charm and easy smile. Margaret's mind reeled. In their conservative community, this revelation would destroy them. The police would get involved, the media would swarm, and their family name would be dragged through the mud. That night, Daniel paced the living room until midnight before saying the unthinkable. What if we tell people it's Emily's baby? Emily, the eldest daughter, was 19, living at home after dropping out of college. Margaret stared at her husband, horrified. But the more they thought about it, the more it made sense. Emily was an adult. An unmarried pregnancy would raise eyebrows, but it wouldn't ruin their lives the way Lily's would. Emily protested at first, but when her father reminded her about the roof over her head and the debts they were paying for her, she gave in. Within days, they ordered a silicone pregnancy belly online. Emily would wear it. Lily would disappear from public view. No one could know the truth. By autumn, Emily's fake pregnancy was the talk of the town. At the grocery store, strangers congratulated her. Old friends sent baby clothes. Emily smiled on cue, but every night she tore the belly off and sat in silence, staring at herself in the mirror. Meanwhile, Lily's life had turned into a cage. She wasn't allowed to leave the house except for doctor's appointments, always under the name Emily Peterson. She wore oversized hoodies, her growing belly hidden even from visiting relatives. Margaret insisted this was the only way to protect her. But Emily wasn't the only one wearing a mask. Daniel acted like nothing had happened, burying himself in work. Margaret fussed over every detail of the ruse, terrified that the smallest slip would unravel it. The pressure in the house grew unbearable. One night, Emily caught Lily crying into a stuffed animal. "I don't want to give my baby away," Lily whispered. Emily froze. No one had dared to voice that thought before. "You'll get over it," Emily muttered, but her voice shook. For the first time, Emily wondered if her parents' plan was really for Lily's sake, or for their own. The deception began to fray when Emily's ex-boyfriend, Ryan, heard about the pregnancy. He showed up on the Peterson porch, demanding answers. Emily stumbled through an excuse, claiming they'd had a brief fling before he left for college. Ryan didn't believe her, but left without pressing further, for now. Meanwhile, at one of Emily's prenatal checkups, the nurse casually asked about her age and medical history. Emily panicked, fumbling for answers until Margaret jumped in, claiming she'd forgotten Emily's childhood asthma. But the nurse's raised eyebrow lingered in Emily's mind. Back home, Lily's body changed faster than they'd expected. Margaret tightened the rules. No visitors, no phone calls. Lily grew bitter and restless, scribbling in a hidden notebook late into the night. Emily once found it under Lily's pillow. It wasn't a diary. It was a letter addressed to my baby, full of promises Lily knew she couldn't keep. One afternoon, Emily overheard her parents discussing adoption papers. Not for Lily, for her. Emily Peterson would be listed as the mother, and the child would be given away before Lily could even hold it. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. She kept hearing Lily's soft voice saying, "I don't want to give my baby away." Winter arrived with biting winds, but the Peterson home felt hotter with tension each day. Emily's fake belly was replaced twice to match Lily's real growth. Family photos were staged to preserve the illusion. Emily began avoiding her parents, spending more time in the attic where no one bothered her. One evening, she found Lily there, reading from the notebook. Lily didn't notice her until she said softly, "You should keep it." Lily looked up, startled. "What? The baby? You should raise it. It's yours." Tears welled in Lily's eyes. "Mom and Dad won't let me." Emily's voice hardened. "Then maybe we don't let them decide." From that moment, a silent alliance formed between the sisters. Emily started researching legal rights late at night, learning that no matter her age, Lily had to give written consent for adoption. They just had to make sure she never signed anything. But danger was closing in. Ryan returned, this time angrier. He'd done the math and knew something was off. "It's not yours, is it?" he asked Emily. She said nothing. Ryan smirked. Maybe the town deserves to know the truth. 2 weeks before Lily's due date, Ryan posted a cryptic message online. Sometimes, the baby isn't the sister's. The post spread fast in their small community. Neighbors began asking more pointed questions. The grocery store smiles were replaced with whispers. Margaret panicked, ordering Emily to stay home and refusing to answer the door. Daniel suggested confronting Ryan, but Emily stopped him. If you push him, he'll just tell everything. That night, Emily made a decision that would change everything. She took Lily's notebook and left it on Ryan's car, along with a note. If you care about the truth, you'll read this before speaking. The next day, Ryan returned the notebook to Lily. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I didn't know. The apology was too late. Margaret had overheard everything. Furious, she accused Emily of betrayal. The fight ended with Emily shouting, "You're not protecting her. You're protecting yourselves." The night Lily went into labor, a snowstorm raged outside. Margaret insisted they stick to the plan. Emily would check in at the hospital under her name. But Emily had already decided otherwise. When the nurse asked for the patient's name, Emily said clearly, Lily Peterson. She's the mother. Margaret's eyes widened in horror, but the nurse simply nodded and led Lily away. The truth, once spoken, couldn't be taken back. Hours later, Lily held her baby, a tiny girl with a shock of dark hair. Emily stood beside her, exhausted but relieved. Daniel sat in the corner, silent, while Margaret stared at the floor. For the first time in months, Lily smiled. The weeks that followed were brutal. The town buzzed with gossip, the police questioned Josh, and the Peterson family became a local scandal. But the truth was out, and it was freeing. Josh was arrested. The legal process was slow, but Lily's testimony was powerful. Emily moved into a small apartment, helping Lily care for the baby. Their parents visited occasionally, but the trust between them was gone. One spring morning, Emily watched Lily rocking her daughter on the porch. The air smelled of blooming lilacs. "You saved me," Lily whispered. Emily shook her head. "No, you saved yourself. I just made sure they heard you." The Peterson family would never be the same, but for the sisters, the lie that once bound them had turned into the truth that set them free.